Hi, Tony DeWitt here, a guy who likes to make the law make sense on YouTube. I'm a Missouri attorney, and before we get started, if you would, don't forget to smash that like button if you find this information helpful. Today we're going to talk about something that I think a lot of people need to know, and that is there's no right way to do the wrong thing. More on that in just a moment. When you live in a republic, there are just certain things that you have to do. You have to do things like pay your taxes. And when you're called upon, you have to serve on a jury. Now, whether or not you actually get to serve on the jury, of course, depends on your answers to a number of questions, whether or not you can be fair in the given circumstance of that case. But a lot of times lawyers get questions like, how do I get out of jury duty? Well, there are ways to get out of jury duty, and I'm not going to go into them right now because I don't think that's an appropriate thing for a lawyer to do. But what I will tell you is that unless you have some overwhelming need to be somewhere else or do something else, children to take care of, an elderly parent, something like that, then for the most part you should do your civic duty and sit on the jury if you're requested to do so, because there's no right way to do the wrong thing. But I get a lot of other questions from time to time that sort of fall into this same category, like, what if I erase my phone? What if the police get my phone when I'm arrested and I go and I use the reset function and reset the phone and delete all of the information that's on there? What will happen? Well, you'll probably be charged with tampering with evidence, even if you could possibly do that. Most of the time when the police seize a phone, they put it in airplane mode and they take off the Wi-Fi so that they can work on it independently without having to worry about some message coming into the phone while they're working on it that strips it and shuts it down. In addition to that, you may be compelled by court order to give over your passcode to the phone as part of an enforcement of the search warrant. Now, if you've got a lawyer, he will certainly fight tooth and nail to protect your information in that phone. But the bottom line is, if the government wants it, they're probably going to be able to get it. And of course, the other part of that equation is, a lot of times the information that they want doesn't just sit on your phone. It may sit on the servers of the phone company that you're using, the wireless service. And it may be in your computer. For example, I often get texts on my phone that show up on my Mac computer. And even though I may be able to delete my iPhone by hitting the reset and using that service, I'm not going to be able to reset all of my different computers that have that same information on them. So that's something to think about. Here's something else to think about. If you delete that information, that is going to be offered as evidence against you at court. You deleted this information. There must have been something there that made you look guilty. So it's never a good idea to destroy evidence. As I tell people all the time, I can explain the truth. I can't explain a lie. I had a situation several years ago where a gentleman came in and I go through my routine interview. In my routine interview, I ask about things like, have you ever been convicted of a crime? And he shook his head. I didn't get an actual no from him, but he shook his head. I should have known better. I should have pressed him on that, but I didn't. And then later on, in a deposition, he was asked that question. Have you ever been convicted of a crime? No, never have. And then they brought out the conviction where he was arrested for weed and convicted. It was a misdemeanor possession and something that probably wouldn't even show up as a criminal offense today. But because he lied about that, it made his credibility a great deal weaker. It is far easier for me as your attorney to simply say, yeah, people make mistakes. He made a mistake and he got caught with drugs, but he's turned that page of his life over. That is effective in dealing with this. Lying about it certainly is not. A lot of times people ask questions like, well, what if I just say I don't remember? Well, the question is, do you remember? Because if you remember and you are honoring your oath, you have to say what you remember. That's how an oath works. It's an oath to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And of course, if you know something and you say you don't know something, that's a lie. A lot of times I'll see questions on Quora like, how can I convince my girlfriend to drop the charges against me? Well, sorry pal, but that's something you should have thought about before you got into that fix. You know, as far as I'm concerned, any man who hits a woman for any reason is just wrong. Even if a woman jumps up and starts slapping you, the thing to do is to walk away. Because there is no right way to do the wrong thing, and it's just flat wrong to hit a woman. It's wrong for several reasons. It doesn't matter if she hit you first. If you hit her back, you are the one who's going to be charged with domestic violence, not her. So again, there's just no right way to do the wrong thing. And if you let that be a guidepost along your path, you will do well in life. It's often hard to admit mistakes and wrongdoing, but it is far better than lying about it, and it almost always results in a better outcome for you than lying about it. So there you have it. There's no right way to do the wrong thing. That's the message for today. That's the takeaway. If you found all of this helpful or interesting or useful, I would appreciate it if you would smash that like button for me. And if you haven't already, go over here and click the subscribe icon and subscribe to our channel so you'll be notified whenever we release a video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.